The Lane Kiffin Saga has taken a turn. Let's get right into it. Reminder, hit that subscribe button. I know many of you listen, you don't subscribe. A lot of you think you're subscribed. Please do us a favor. Go and make sure that you hit that subscribe button and tell your friends to subscribe. It's the only way that we can grow and stay with you, giving you football from a veteran coach and scout standpoint and giving you the true story. Coaching search work, we've got it all for you. Lane Kiffin is adamant that he will wait until the Ole Miss season is over before discussing anything. It could change. If it does, he'll probably be asked, well, what changed? And I think the only thing that would happen is if he makes a decision before the end of the season, obviously he's staying at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is heading towards the playoffs, even with a loss to Mississippi State. Remember, they're on a bye week this week, so and a lot of folks think that maybe this is the week. If he wants to re-up with the Ole Miss, this would be the week maybe to do it. But he's adamant to waiting to the end of the season. Ole Miss is going to the playoffs. Ole Miss has had a deal in place for him to sign for some time that will make him the highest paid coach in college football. The collective, the NIL funding, staff, commitments there. Ole Miss wants him to sign yesterday. Ole Miss has to get it finalized with him or move on before they get left in a mess. I always encourage athletic directors and coaching searches to prepare as if your coach will be leaving at any time at the end of the year. For whatever reason, sickness, God forbid, whatever. You always have to be prepared for that. Now, Lane could end all the speculation this week during the bye week and re-up a la Mike Elko with A&M, Kurt Cignetti with Indiana. He could do that, and he may do that. Let's watch for that this week. Might he do that? I've kind of got the feeling from key folks in the Ole Miss administration that this could be headed for further drama. Look, the noise is going to be even bigger Egg Bowl week. It will get even louder with Ole Miss making the playoffs as they prepare. Some have even suggested, the media, and let me just say this. Everybody has a right to have an opinion, do a podcast or whatever. We try to do something different. We try to bring you years of experience in coaching searches, scouting at both the college and NFL level. If you buy into message board stuff, if you buy into just, hey, we're going to get clicks, we're trying to do it the hard way. We'll try to give you the information, the inside information, the analysis. Not going to just throw stuff out there that other people are going to hate it, get a click, and then you realize it's a bunch of nonsense, which most of it is. It has been talked about at Ole Miss. What do they do if it's the end of the season? And remember, the end of the season is not going to be when the Egg Bowl's over. Obviously, they're going to want to get him to commit certainly by then, if not before. If he holds to the I'm not even thinking or discussing it until at the end of the season, well, that's going to be after the playoffs. And at which stage? Some have said, force him to make a decision. Sign a new deal or you can't coach in the playoffs. Okay. Maybe a lot of Ole Miss fans would want to do that as well. Feel that as well. I wouldn't want to be Keith Carter or Glenn Boyce, athletic director and president at Ole Miss, to deal with the backlash. Because Lane will say, I just said I wanted to wait to the end of the season. It's disrespectful to this team to do anything other. I want to coach this team, built this program. It's going to be hard to not let him coach. He's going to want to coach and finish the season. I know key Ole Miss boosters and even the Secretary of State, Michael Watson, kind of calling out Kiffin on social media asking for a commitment. You got key Florida boosters. Think they have him wrapped up. There was a lot of rumors, again, falsely speculated that Kiffin was going to sign with Florida Sunday. How dumb do you need to be to realize that that's not going to happen that way? Can you imagine that? Hey, yeah, I'm not going to discuss it to the end of the season, but then sign a deal the day after you beat Florida? It's just dumb. Rumors speculated that Kiffin was going to sign that deal on Sunday. It made no sense. We know Florida's interested. Key Florida people, administrators, key boosters, board members feel they have got a deal that's going to make him come to Florida. We'll see. Don't know. LSU, I know, has strong interest. Knowing Lane as long as I have, been asked to reach out to him and further being, look, I think I'm objective, even though it's often hard with your school to say, hey, yeah, things at LSU are not as bad as publicly. Yeah, it's been as bad publicly as it sounds, but it's not going to affect things going forward. I know there's strong interest by LSU. I think there's some level of interest. More on that in a second. I want to remind you, though, a few short years ago, Lane Kiffin, one of the LSU and Florida jobs, back when Florida hired Billy Napier and LSU hired Brian Kelly, same hiring cycle. Neither one of them would talk to him. And I will tell you, Jimmy Sexton and Scott Woodward, the LSU athletic director, did not have a good relationship. There's a lot there. But I was asked to kind of, all right, see if LSU wouldn't talk to him. Florida wouldn't talk to him. Look, I don't know what's going on, but I know Lane enough to know it would not surprise me in the least. And I know he has matured a great deal. It would not surprise me in the least if he's trolling either or both and leave them at the altar thinking that he's coming only to re-sign with Ole Miss, because it would not come out that way publicly. It would be his stance of not discussing it till after the season's over, his long-standing policy. Can you imagine these three programs waiting until late December, early January, even a little later? I mean, depending on how long Ole Miss would go. That would leave the other two well behind in locking up their coach and a whole lot of drama. I mean, if you're Ole Miss, if you're Florida, you're LSU, you have to know where you stand with Kiffin and any other candidate. As I said, Kiffin could end the speculation now. The fact that he has not suggests, A, he's truly not thought much about it and focused on the season, and happy to leave Florida and LSU at the altar. Doesn't care that the rumor that is being put out there for him, hey, I said I wouldn't talk about it to the end of the season, and signs with Ole Miss. That could be the case. Or he's truly interested in taking one of these jobs. You can't have leverage if you tip your hand. This is why no one knows. Maybe even Lane hasn't decided. But it's going to be hush-hush for no other reason than wherever he goes, he's going to maximize his value, not just with money, but with leverage, power, control. It won't be about money, because he's going to be the highest paid coach in college football. Might be $14 million, $13.5. Kirby Smart's $13.3. He's going to get paid that at Florida, LSU, Ole Miss, or anywhere he goes, because that's what he can get. He's got the leverage. It's going to be about where he wants to be for his future and where he feels he can make the biggest difference, compete for a national championship. He built Ole Miss into a perennial contender. Is that what he wants to do? Or go to Florida or LSU where they've been established contenders at some point in their history of winning titles? I do think the NFL is a possibility again at some point, but he and I have talked about this in the past. I do feel his best spot in college, and I think he thinks as well, but at some point, he might. I don't think that time is right now. Despite all the rumors of him reuniting with Jackson Dart in New York, I don't think that's the case. Look, we don't have the answers because Lane hadn't made the decision. If he has, he's told no one. Because it will come out. Stay tuned. The answer's coming shortly. I'm not saying this week. I'm not shortly in, here it could come anytime. I would say this week, or I think it's probably going to extend to the end of the season, like he said. And then what does Ole Miss do? What does Florida do? What does LSU do? Do they all wait? Do they all move? It's going to be interesting. It is going to be maybe the most interesting storyline. I think the football is always number one, but it's going to be the most interesting storyline even as we head to the playoffs. So stay tuned. I can't tell you when it's going to happen. I can't tell you what's going to happen. But hopefully we've given you an idea of where things started, where they're at right now, and the possibilities of what it could be. Anybody tells you, well, there's a deal done, he's going to sign with it. Don't know. They're just guessing because it's pretty obvious it's door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. Well, we'll just guess one and say, you see, I knew all along. That's nonsense. Guessing and getting it right is not knowing, you just guess it. Okay? Not knowing how to work the problem. What we try to do is take you through the process, using my experience, using my contacts in the coaching search world, and try to put it together. The other thing I try to do is, you can't get information from one side and think you know. Because that may be the stance there. It may not be the stance on the other side. And then you don't know what's going to happen. Again, he was ready to sign a deal with Auburn. Auburn was convinced he was gone. Lane Kiffin was talked out of it by his family. Stayed at Ole Miss. So he likes it? Sure, he likes it at Florida. Sure, who wouldn't like it at Florida? His ex-wife, Layla, who they're reuniting, is John Reeves. That's John Reeves' daughter. People should know John Reeves, great Florida Gator. Layla graduated from Florida. LSU, certainly a premier program. Ole Miss, he's professed his love, but is that where he wants to be going forward? I think it's a great situation either way. I get everybody. Well, he should do this, he should do that. You know what he should do? He should do what he thinks is best. And he's going to do that. Whether he works out long-term or not, that remains to be seen. But what's interesting is the timing of all of this. The timing of a playoff team. This is not somebody who's going to end their season in 2 weeks that you can make a move. A lot of those guys are going to be available. Do you pass on them and wait for the grand prize if you think he's the grand prize? This is going to create some drama. Stay tuned here. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed. We're going to bring you all the latest on this and everything going on around the coaching searches. Everything college football, NFL from a coaching, scouting, and coaching search perspective. Appreciate you joining us. Talk to you again next time.